Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host, Derailious, and today, the moment that we've been waiting for years is finally here. The foraging update has arrived. Before we begin, I just want to say, please make sure to like and subscribe down below as it really helps out the channel a lot, and use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order. Thank you, and let's get started. Starting off today, the foraging update is actually here, and it's also the most technically ambitious update in the history of Hypixel Skyblock. They are ready to reveal it to us, so let's get started here. To begin, in order to access the park and Galatea now, you need to play on Minecraft 1.21.5 or higher. The rest of Skyblock remains fully accessible on older versions, and it doesn't seem like there's an immediate plan to bring the rest of the server to 1.21. So don't worry too bad if you're a dungeon player, for example, and you want to be able to ghost block and things like that. But what this allows the admins to do is add new blocks, mobs, particle effects, sounds, swimming mechanics, and more to the new islands. Basically, they are able to ramp up the complexity and quality of their content using the latest Minecraft tech. Would not be that shocked if future islands used 1.21 features. Stay tuned, they are going to be releasing a separate dev blog soon covering resource packs, custom models, menus, and more, so keep that in mind. Starting off small, there is also the park revamp, and as you can see, it is 5 separate islands again. Basically how this works is that the park is now split into a bunch of different islands. There's a new foraging tutorial quest line. The foraging collections got improved a lot. It's way easier to get certain early game items, and there are now early game foraging armors and new items tied to the progression system that makes it a lot more linear. There's also Mulbert, who's a new NPC, and he is pretty fun. He gets himself stuck in some traps, which is pretty entertaining. But the big one is Galatea, the first of 3 planned foraging islands. I don't know why they're referring to it like this, because Galatea is the name of the archipelago, which is all 3 islands. The first island is called the Moonglade Marsh. Regardless, as you scroll down, you can see that there is the Heart of the Forest. This is effectively the same thing as the Heart of the Mountain, but for, once again, foraging. Its main currency is Forest Whispers. This is just powder, but for Heart of the Forest, don't really have to think about it any other way. There's also the sweep, toughness, and style system. I'm not going to go super crazy in depth. I have a ton of videos about this already on the channel. The TLDR is that sweep allows you to break more logs of a tree. If a tree has high toughness, you're going to need a lot more sweep in order to break it effectively. And the style is basically the correct order in which the way that you're chopping the tree, like the how you're going to do it. So some trees need to be chopped bottom up, some need to be chopped top down. That's basically how that works. Another big thing here on Galatea is tree gifts. If you cut down at least 10% of a tree, you will receive the gift. That gives you foraging XP, Heart of the Forest XP, forest essence, collection items, and some surprises, like rare items. There's also a bunch of new collections on the island. I'm not going to go super deep into these. TLDR is they allow you to do more hunting stuff, which you're going to need to do, and also allow you to get some of the early entry-level foraging armor and axes and things like that. There's also the Agatha contest, made a full guide on that as well. This is basically the farming contest for foraging, except you're not competing against each other, you're just trying to hit a certain milestone. It's not too bad, I think it's pretty reasonable. There's pressure mechanics, beacons, boosters, fish families, combat monsters, starborn temples, hunting creatures. Went over all of those in videos. There's a lot of features on the island, a lot of stuff that I recommend people explore. Hunting is another new skill, by the way, that allows you to basically get attributes. That's the TLDR for it. You interact with mobs all over Skyblock, doesn't just have to be Galatea, and you can transform attributes that you obtain from those mobs into permanent buffs tied to your profile. The main quest line here is with David. You're going to want to get this cloak. It is literally the most powerful cloak in the game. Like, they objectively state this. If you upgrade it, you're going to get a ton of sweep. You're going to be chopping trees like crazy. Ton of damage buffs, ton of overall buffs. I think you get magic find too. They're just throwing stuff at the wall with this. Really powerful item. Meet David in Galatea, like right in this building, and follow his quest line. It is super important. Basically, for hunting, do a bunch of different mechanics that are different depending on the mob. So some you need to catch with fishing nets or lassos. Some mobs you need to actually kill, or some mobs you need to get low and then use a black hole to suck them in. TLDR, tons of different things in order to actually unlock all of the new attributes in the game. Not that difficult of a system to understand, but it is pretty important. The attributes work very similar to the old system. You get stacks of them, you get different levels, but they're no longer tied directly to items. You can see all of your active attributes in the attribute menu and also within the hunting skill interface. Players with god rolls are going to receive Ananke feathers based on the value of that god roll, and you can transfer over your old attributes to the new system. If you have a bunch of extra shards of a specific type, you can also fuse attributes together to get a bunch of fusion-only shards, or also just get a bunch of other ones. They're going to have a lot of ongoing large balance changes. They're going to be finalizing the details within the next week. Hudra has also been changed. Now you get a lot more Crimson Essence. The Crimson Isle shards will be obtainable in Hudra. You're going to be getting Kraken shards. You're going to be getting Ananke feathers. There's no longer the Enrager. That's no longer obtainable. But there is the Tormentor, rare but reasonably attainable. And the Hellstorm wand has also received a full revamp. They also have some more last-minute changes here. New accessory from the mountaintop, which is pretty cool. And some item changes here. Diver armor. And also the new accessory line for Emperor Skull. There is also a lot going on in the future, and this is the most exciting stuff I think we've seen in a long while. Frankly, I think this is more exciting than a lot of what we saw in the 2024 recap. Basically, in terms of the foraging follow-up patch in Future Islands, they have plans for the Moonglade Marsh and will be releasing patch notes in the following week alongside eventual balancing changes. TLDR, they're just going to be looking at this and trying to fix it up over time. They already planned out the second and third islands of Galatea. Production, however, is on hold until they've gathered enough feedback from this update. Basically, they just want to do it right. That's reasonable. Mythological Ritual V2. They will be releasing an update in the near future that will modernize Diana's Mythological Ritual event, adding new mobs, drops, and obviously the Mythic Griffin pet. Slayer content. Back at the start of the year, they promised everyone Slayer content. They ended up reallocating some of their resources to the foraging project. However, they used that time to design a brand new Slayer that they will hope to release later on in this year. All of the Slayer content is now either in the later stages of development or awaiting quality assurance. Pretty good sign. Year of the Witch, third event of its type, centered around alchemy. As part of the Year of the Witch event, players will need to seek out particular mobs, killing them in order to gather ingredients. Ingredients can be used to gain permanent buffs or as currency in the Year of the Witch shop. They will be adding a seal pet with this update. The Lotus Atoll is our next fishing island and will be accessed via the ship navigator. It's going to contain some trophy frogs. They are also going to do pet crafting changes. Basically, they want to make the new player experience better. The way that they're planning to do this is through moving some pets earlier in collections and making them cheaper to craft. For a while, they've wanted to remove randomized pet crafting in the game, and we decided to take this opportunity to do that. All crafted pets will now always start at common rarity, but their early cat upgrades are being changed to be incredibly cheap and quick to compensate. No more waiting for Diana. As always, we truly hope you will enjoy this update. Thanks for helping us shape the future of Skyblock, the Hypixel Skyblock team. Overall here, we have known pretty much everything about the foraging update for years at this point. This is not really new information. This doesn't really excite me, although obviously I am excited that the update is out, and I think it's a very damn good update. The future stuff is a big deal. Everything they listed here feels really, really good for the future of the game. More combat content, more alchemy content, more fishing content. There's going to be a revamp to the Mythological Ritual event, making it better. They're going to eventually focus on the next few foraging islands, not to mention everything else they talked about with the initial 2024 recap. The future of Skyblock looks incredibly bright. I am so happy to actually feel that way about this game again. I don't really have too much else to say. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below what you think about the game, how it's going to be in a year from now, because I think it looks pretty damn good. At the end of the day, though, my name's Derailious. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future, fellas. I'll see you then.